Did you know that your 3D printer doubles as a kitchen appliance? Now, I don't mean it's going to transform into a KitchenAid and mix up your cookie dough, although I guess it could if you get really creative with the G-code. What I mean is you can print out tons and tons of useful things for your kitchen. And I'm not even talking about Gridfinity yet, that's a whole different video. Today, I'm going to show you 10 of the most practical kitchen prints so that maybe you can add something to your 2 print list. Or 2, that'd be even better actually, or 3. I mean, you could print all 10 if you want, but most likely you're not going to need all 10, you should at least need a few. If this sounds like something you might like, then you could subscribe if you wanted to. We're trying to hit 30K. Also, if you're a really big fan of these videos, you can join and become a member, so that's pretty cool, right? You get these cool little like badges next to your name, and you're gonna get videos sooner, and you know, it's kind of cool. No big deal. Of course, all of the original creators and the links to these prints are going to be in that description down below, so you can go check them out for yourself and give the original creators all of the love. Also, let me know if you like this kind of video. This is the first time I've done something like this, so let me know if I should keep doing these with maybe more rooms of the house. The garage even, we could expand this to bathrooms, anywhere. Let me know in the comments. But with the intro out of the way, let's get started with our 10 practical kitchen prints. Alright, I hope you have a lot of spare time on your hands because this first print is going to take 13 minutes. 13 whole minutes, that's like 3 more than 10 minutes. If you can somehow manage to fit that in your schedule, what you're going to get is this super awesome bag clip. It's simple, it's print in place, and like I say in every single one of my videos, it just works. Yes, it's small, but it gets the job done perfectly. All it does is just sit right on that bag of chips, make sure the air doesn't get in there and ruin them. Chips are a lot like filament actually, I just realized that. You don't want air to get in because it makes them not as good. Just like filament. If the air gets in, it's not as good. That's why you keep your filament sealed up, right? That was kind of dumb, but we're rolling with it. Or you could print out a whole ton of them. There's actually a profile on here where you can print out 5 of them at one time and it only takes 40 minutes. Which doesn't exactly scale the way you think, because if one takes 13 minutes, you'd expect 5 to take at least 60 minutes, right? But hey, that's the cool thing about 3D printing. The more you print, the quicker it is. The other great thing with this print being so small, you can print it on any printer ever, probably. I don't think there's a printer small enough that you can print this on. I'd actually love to see if there was one. So all you A1 mini folks are good to go by a lot. You could print an entire bed of these things. Alright, this next print really will take you a little bit of time at 2.9 hours, and it's actually the longest print in this entire video. So if you can stomach 3 hours of print time, you can print any of these prints, which is just good to know. Write that down. This is the Open Sesame 3000. The name really gives away what it does. It just opens jars, opens cans. Not cans, it's not a can opener, but it opens lids of all kinds. Let's just say that. And there are tons of different sizes on this tool, so if you have a stubborn jar that you just can't get open, this is your guy right here. This print is going to take care of that. It's printed entirely out of PLA, although I can imagine if you really wanted to, you can add a cool TPU ring around it just to give it a little bit more grip. But being printed entirely out of PLA, it still opens all of these lids, no problem. It even has a size for really small lids if you're trying to open up a little soda can. Not like the pop tab can, not that. That's a whole different print, which I don't have in this video, but I'm talking about the screw-on soda caps. This is the tool for that also. Don't you just hate when you're 90% of the way through a Pringles can and you gotta reach your arm all the way in there to get those last chips, and you just have Pringle dust all up in your arm hair and it's just kind of greasy and gross? You can fix that for 2 hours. That's a pretty good trade-off if you ask me. All you gotta do with this print is slide it in the tin or the can or the jar, or whatever you want to call this tube structure. Tilt the tube on its side, give it a little tilt, a little shake if you want, and then pull the print out and look, there's all your chips. Now I know you could just tilt the jar and catch the Pringles in your hand, but that's not as cool as having this device. And you're also going to get all of those little crumbs and fragments everywhere, so this is just the way to go. Don't even argue with me. And I'm not here to discuss if Pringles are actually chips or not, because they crunch like chips, so they're chips. I get that they're not specifically cut from potatoes like other potato chips. They're kind of like mashed together into the chip shape. But that's the appeal of them. Every single one is the same. You know exactly what you're getting. There are no surprises. And included in the no surprises is getting your arm dirty trying to get those last few prints. We don't need to do that anymore. We live in a time where almost everyone has a 3D printer or knows somebody that has a 3D printer. So we do not need to deal with these medieval problems anymore of trying to get that last Pringle. Next up is a print that is as good looking as it is functional. This is the 2-color infill coasters. I don't think I need to explain to you how these things work. They're just coasters. You set your drinks on them, stop that condensation from getting all over your desk or your table or your couch. Although I wouldn't recommend having drinks on your couch anyways. It never works out. I've tried it before, trust me. But these ones just look so cool, and you could also claim that they're educational because that pattern on the inside is straight infill. You could show your buddy how 3D printers fill in empty space. Infill. Or if you're not a nerd like me, you could just hand these out and not say anything to anybody, but just in your head know that they're sitting their drink down on 3D printer infill and have no idea. And don't even get me started on this gold filament. You know I like my gold filament that actually looks gold, and this is it right here. You can also pick if you want to print out 4 of one coaster, or you can pick a plate that has an assortment on it that has 1 of each. Did that make sense? I hope it did. Okay, I didn't make you guess what the Pringles print was, but I am gonna make you guess what this is. Throw in the comments. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Orange juicer, bottle dryer, oil filter drainer. If you said orange juicer, you are wrong. This is a bottle dryer. Excuse me, this is a stackable bottle drying rack. You know when you wash your water bottles and you leave it sit, hoping it's gonna dry out on its own, you come back a couple hours later and it's just musty? This solves that. This print makes sure that there is proper airflow getting in that bottle so that water doesn't have time to fester and get gross. But your standard bottles, like, I don't know, have you ever heard of like a Stanley? I think it's called Stanley. You know, those bottles that aren't popular whatsoever. If by chance you happen to have one of these Stanleys that are super rare and you don't see them anywhere ever, you can dry them out on this thing. Or you could just grab a towel and, you know, get your hand in there, dry the inside of that thing, but that's just so boring. This is a toothpick dispenser. With this print, you can be the most popular person after a corn on the cob meal. Just walk around the table, popping out toothpicks for everybody. Definitely a fan favorite for sure. This print is super nice because while it does have a lot of parts, they all print on one plate. Now with this being multiple parts, there is some assembly required. However, the creator left really good instructions on how to put this thing together, so it's no big deal at all. After that, all you gotta do is load it up with toothpicks, press down, and boom, there's your toothpick ready to go. Grab it and go. If you're a big toothpick guy, this print is definitely for you. Like if you're one of those people that just kind of let it hang out of your mouth, carry it around from time to time, this is it. It's so much better than a piece of hay. It doesn't stick out as far. You're not going to hit people with it. Keep it short and simple with a toothpick. And next up, we have a kitchen utensil holder that just looks so great. I mean, this could be an actual product in a store. This doesn't look 3D printed at all. Especially printed out of the super rich dark green PLA. Just amazing. This also doubles as a lid holder for your pots and pans. All this print does is gives you a place to set down whatever utensil you're using to cook with, whether it's a ladle, a spatula, a spoon, fork, a knife, a butter knife, a serrated knife, turkey carver, ice cream scoop, a whisk, a wooden spatula, a can opener. So when you're stirring your soup and you don't really know where to put down the spoon, this is it right here. Set it down on this print. It's going to keep that spoon up in the air so it's not touching anything, contaminating your food. And if it drips, that's fine because it's going to drip right on this print and you can just wash it off later. Now you don't have to waste a paper towel to do the same thing and then possibly get the paper towel stuck to the spoon and then put that back in your soup and not realize that there's paper towel in your soup until you're eating it. Just don't even bother with worrying about that and print this out. It can even be printed on your A1 Mini, which is just a nice bonus, right? Next we have this creepy looking face that holds your scrub. Your sponge that has a face on it, which won't be named because I don't want to get copyrighted, so if you think this thing looks creepy now, you should see it while it's printing out with that infill sticking out. That's some real nightmare fuel right there. Now with this print, you have a place to dry them off. Just give them a good wring out and then throw them on this print to fully dry out. I printed this out of pink because it matches my sponge. But if you have the yellow version, you can print it out of yellow. I'm pretty sure there's a green version. You can print this out of green if you want it to match. But I don't know why I'm telling you that. You can pick whatever filament you want to print any of this stuff out of. I'm just telling you why I chose pink, just so you know in case you're wondering. This sponge has seen some better days. It's been in use for quite some time, but I mean, we've all seen better days, right? So don't blame the sponge. It's been working hard, doing sponge things, cleaning dishes. And now it has a proper place to rest after a good dishwashing session and just dry out. Don't you just hate when you're going to put the bread away after making a great grilled cheese sandwich and that bread tie is just nowhere to be found? Me too. That's why I chose this print, because that has happened to me one too many times and we don't need to suffer like this anymore. This is the Press to Seal Clip / Food Bag Sealing Clip by Tutu on MakerWorld. Sorry, I just could not get that title out. I had to look. This is another one of those super quick prints at 33 minutes that just works. It does print out in 2 pieces, but there is nothing to this assembly. You just gotta slide the springy piece into the main piece, and that's it. You're good to go. I definitely should have made a side piece joke right there, but I just couldn't come up with one, so. This clip is perfect for sealing those bread bags, although you can use it for anything you want. That is what I would use it for, those bread bags. This is just what it was meant for, right here. And you're gonna have a way tougher time losing this thing than that little tiny bread clip. But I will say, if you lose that bread clip, that's usually where the expiration date is. However, that's only important if you care about those. I'm kind of weird about that. I really care about expiration dates, but if you don't, you just look at the bread and see if it's good, then you're good to go. Don't worry about that clip at all. Just use this one. And the final print of the day is an egg separator. I chose to put this one as the last print because it does actually touch your food. And that's a little bit controversial on if prints should touch your food or not. So I put it as the last print, and I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. Honestly, I get both sides to it because this filament is going through those extruder gears that could have broken off pieces of old plastic in them, maybe some shredded metal from various whatever that you're doing with your printer, and that's getting into your print, and then you're using that with your food. So I get the concern. But I also get that people still drink water out of the hose and eat food as long as it wasn't touching the ground for longer than 3 seconds. So are you really concerned about a 3D printed egg separator? I guess if you're separating your eggs, you're probably very health conscious and you're trying to get those egg whites only. So in that case, then yes, you probably would be concerned about your health like that. In that case, just don't print this out. I'm just here to show you the prints. You don't actually have to print them. I also want you to know that I used my very last egg for this. I can't even go buy more because the stores around me are all out of them. I do this for you. Big sacrifices are made for you. I know I said that was the last print, but I have some honorable mentions for you that have been featured in previous videos, so I didn't want to double down on today's video because that's just not me, you know? But they are worth mentioning because they can be useful in the kitchen, such as this soda can dispenser. This one does require quite a bit of assembly, but it holds your soda cans and dispenses them perfectly. I only recently found out from you guys that this used to be very common back in the day, and it just slowly faded away, I guess. I'm here to bring it back because I like it. Next is this Ben & Jerry's ice cream holder, which was featured in the previous must print video. It holds your Ben & Jerry's so your hand doesn't get cold, gives you a nice handle to hold on to it, has a spot for your spoon, and it even holds the lid to stop it from dripping all over the place. 10 out of 10 print. And finally, we have the spaghetti measurer so that you always know how much spaghetti to make. Don't make the mistake of cooking the whole box every time and assuming you're going to eat it like I do, because you never do. Use this print, figure out how much spaghetti you really need, and go from there. Now that's all I have for you in today's video. Of course I have more for you in the future, which is why you should subscribe, right? All you gotta do is just flip your phone. As long as you're on auto rotation, that subscribe button is just right there. It's so close. So you might as well do it because I bet you can't. I bet you can't do it. Prove me wrong. You won't. I bet you also won't tell me what you like about this video in the comments down below. You definitely wouldn't do that. I know you better. And you also probably won't check out my previous videos because if you liked this one, there's a really good chance you're gonna like those because they're a lot like this video. And you definitely won't leave your ideas for future videos in the comments as well, because I definitely don't read all of those comments. And if that's the case, then you definitely won't have a great rest of your day. I'm just kidding. I can't do that to you. The only thing I'm gonna say is that I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later.